Hey, what's up everyone? Time for an 86 update. It's only been a year, but I got my buddy Brett behind the camera. Show yourself. Hey, I'm Brett. A quick little update. I have pretty much decided to strip out the Xcessive completely and use the money and random things left over like the seat in this car, and any bit of money that I recouped from that went straight into this. I've already bought beams, I bought a bunch of suspension parts, I've bought this axle, which I'll explain here in a moment, and I've already started to do a lot of work on the car. The only problem is it's winter here, it's still really damn cold, and just trying to play the stay warm game while working on it's not working out. So you gotta stay with us here. I know it's been quite a while. It's because last year was just super busy. We had a lot of my team, Xcessive, we held a lot of events and we went out of town a lot, and I just didn't have much time, and I just wasn't able to really keep up with filming. But you know, here's your update. I'm sure you've all been very patiently waiting, which is awesome. I know Brett has been.
Oh, so, yeah.
If you want to come in here and show this, today I installed the 1-inch spacer kit to help fit the beams a little bit better. I also did the manual rack conversion. Remember how rusty that was?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I cleaned that up really good. And then did the Xcessive Manufacturing bushings and adapter sleeve, which I had to do some crazy stuff inside here to make that work. I'll kind of plug in a little bit that I recorded early into there, how that had to work. So I just installed this Xcessive Manufacturing conversion sleeve. And here at the slip joint, I can't believe how loose this is, watch. That is just unreal. I'm gonna try and drill a hole through the center and then see if I can put a bolt on it and clamp it. If not, I guess I'm gonna have to do some welding. Cool. More or less, I took a feeler gauge and I hammered it up into the side because this doesn't have the rubber coating on it that they do from the factory. So therefore, the slip joint is too loose, and I had nearly like a ½ an inch of play on the steering wheel to the shaft. So I said I didn't want to leave it like that, and I figured I might as well just hammer that up in there, and then you can kind of see the bulge right here. That bulge is actually, I drilled a hole, and there's actually a 6mm 5-grade bolt through there, so there's still a shear point. That way, if I do get in a bad enough wreck that the rack comes up, it's not going to push everything into me. But it's coming together. I've got a little ways to go. As far as parts go, I still have to get a drive shaft. I have to get a full coilover system. And to touch on that too, I was originally going to go with all S chassis suspension front and rear, but I decided to change that up a little bit. I'm still doing all the S chassis stuff in the front, and I'm going to keep it 4-bolt, but then the rear is going to be all Ford 8.8, which is over here. All brackets from T3. Sorry I didn't get any footage on shortening it or welding all that on, but that's pretty straightforward. You put a bracket on there and you weld it on. 4.5 ring and pinion. It does have the True Lock, Ford True Lock, but I'm not going to use that. I'm just going to weld that up. And then it has been shortened on this one side, which is the driver's side. It's been shortened 2 7/8 inch or something like that. I have test fit it, and I can tell you one thing, it's not a direct fit because of certain things that Ford decided to do from the factory. You can see it's been cut right here. I tried to cut it to kind of mimic this side, but there was originally a big bracket that came out, and that bracket pretty much when you would lift the axle up into the chassis, it would hit the tunnel right where this pinion kind of sits. And also this had 2 big little things coming off that would protect the sensor. Though the sensor's not needed in our car, it still came out real far, and I think there's going to be enough room with that I have yet to test, which I will get in video to see how well it fits. But that thing's pretty much ready. Brett and I are going to be heading over to our work and welding up these spider gears. Like I said, it is a True Lock, but it's hard to spin from down there. But the problem with the True Locks is you can't really modify them outside of putting a spool in it. So what I'm just going to do is just weld them. That way we got a nice locked up differential. But outside of that, it's kind of there's a danger zone. Outside of all of that, it's just, like I said, all the S chassis front stuff. I still have to order coilovers. I'm going to be going with BC Racing front coilover conversion, so it'll be, or not conversion, but S13 conversion, so it'll have AE86 top hats. And then 8 kilogram springs. I think normally S chassis require, or they suggest you run like 10 kilogram springs in the front. I'm going to run 8. And then in the back, I'm going to end up running 4.5 kilogram, and they're going to be coilover conversion made by DMAC. Come on to the back. All battle version arms, brand new. So excuse her, she's a little rusty and dirty. That's alright. Well, that's a T3 arm, the pan hard bar. But those are battle version, brand new. And here's the beams. It's freaking ugly as shit without that cool iconic beams cover on it. But I was just taking that off, so I quit scratching it up. So there's a little bit of an update. We'll throw together a little bit more after we weld the differential together, and when I start to kind of mount it up under there. Now, if you're wanting to know what's happening with the Cressida, it's going to the scrapyard. I'm gonna get rid of it. Frankly, the car's had too many dents on it. Rear end's been pushed in, and it did actually tweak the chassis a little bit. You can tell because it bowed the trunk lid just a little bit. So I don't even care to try and fix it. This was a thrash car, just decided to get rid of it. But if you have any questions, leave a comment below. And we'll see you here in a little bit when we weld that up and get it all mounted up in there. Parts list.
What do you want to be reminded about?
No, you dumb bitch!
Alright, I've added it to your O'Reilly's AE86 parts list.
What? Add to AE86 parts list.
What do you want to be reminded about?
Fuel lines and flip.
Okay, add it to your O'Reilly's AE86 parts list.
I'm not fast enough. Add to AE86 parts list.
What do you want to be reminded about?
Flare tool.
Okay, add it to your O'Reilly's AE86 parts list.